Hey you guys, it's Ariel Blue. In honor of October and Halloween, I'm going to be talking about my personal paranormal experiences. There have been a lot of them. If you want more videos like this, I can do spoopy. I like spoopy. If you want more videos like this, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that jazz. Okay, the first experience I'm going to be talking about happened, I was about 3 years old, and we lived in this house in my hometown where I'm from, and it was a nice big old house. I think it was in my father's family or something, I'm not sure. But a lot of paranormal things happened there. My parents always talked about the shit that happened to them, and I had a few, even though I was only 3 and I barely remember. I think I probably had more experiences than I remember because I was only 3, so it'd be difficult to remember them. But I remember 2 specific experiences that happened at that house. The first one is my mom kept a shower radio in my room because I always loved music. She kept a shower radio in my bedroom, and it would sit on a shelf in my room, and every night she would go turn it off, be on the shelf, and every morning when she came in my room to get me, the radio would be on, off station, and on the floor. At this time, I couldn't reach the shelf that it was on, because if I was able to actually touch the radio, I would have. So she put it out of my reach. Another thing that happened at that house, we had like 3 or 4 rocking chairs on the front porch, and the rocking chairs would all rock in unison. It was really fucking weird. They would rock in unison, no wind. They would do it all the time. It was really fucking weird. The second experience that I had personally in that house, my bedroom was right across the hall from the bathroom. And I remember laying in bed, and I remember looking over, because I slept with the door open when I was little, and I remember looking over into the bathroom, and the light was flipping on and off. Well, the light was coming on and off, and the cabinets there were cabinets like above the toilet. There were just built wooden cabinets above the toilet, and one under the sink, and the cabinets would just be opening and closing and slamming. And I remember laying in my bed and looking across the hall and seeing that bathroom do that. And there was nobody in there. My parents woke up and came in there and freaked out. It was a whole big thing. But I remember that distinctly. Another experience that happened in that same house that I did not personally experience, it was my mother, who swears to this day on her life that this happened to her. She's always been a really bad insomniac, so she always had trouble sleeping at night. She was laying in bed one night. My daddy was asleep beside her, knocked the fuck out. And she slept with her door open so she could hear me if I got up at night. Well, she said she was laying there in bed with her eyes closed, and she said she felt something just off. Nothing touched her or anything, she just felt that something was off. So she opened her eyes, and standing outside the door was an old woman. She said she had long, light brown hair, and the woman, she was wrapped up in an Afghan, a blanket that's been crocheted, that was always on the back of my mother's couch. That, I don't know if she made or my grandmother made, somebody made it for her. So it was a family thing, a family heirloom kind of. And the woman was wrapped up in this blanket from the couch, and she freaked out. She pulled the cover over her head like a child, kind of, And she tried to wake my daddy up, but he wouldn't wake up. I don't know why. He just sleeps like a rock, I guess. She tried to wake my dad up, but he wouldn't wake up. So she just kept the covers over her head. She never looked back outside the cover. She said she eventually fell asleep around sunrise that day, and then when she woke up, when my daddy got up a couple hours later, she looked into the hallway outside the door where the woman had been, and that blanket was in the floor in, like, you know how a blanket, when you wrap it around yourself and you drop it, that shape, it C shape it makes, I guess, U in something, I don't know, rounded shape it makes on the floor. It was just like that on the floor. And she was so freaked out. She told my dad about it, and he was like, I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, he believed her. He's always believed her. He's always believed us. Second experience, I was really young. We were living with my grandmother, who I called Joycey, because she was sick. She had cancer. And just a few months previous to that, my grandfather, who I call Papa, had died from cancer as well. We had just moved into Joycey's house, and my room was my brother's old room, but it hadn't been cleaned out yet. And my Joycey was kind of classified as a hoarder, but it was all in one room. And it was the room I was supposed to stay in, so it hadn't been cleaned out yet. I was sleeping on the couch in the living room until that room got cleaned out. Well, I was asleep on the couch one night, and where the couch was, it sat directly in front of the hallway that went to the dining room and the kitchen, so you could see directly into the kitchen. I woke up one night, and as I was laying there on my side, pointed towards the kitchen, I could see the kitchen, I saw a man walk from, like, it was weird. It wasn't the front door, because I would have known if it was somebody just coming in the house. He walked out of, it seemed like he walked out of the wall. I was really young. I was like 7 years old. He walked into the kitchen, and I couldn't see much of him. All I could see was like a dark figure, kind of like a shadow person. And he walked over to the sink, and I don't remember what he did when he left. I don't know, because I got scared and pulled the covers over my head and just tried to go back to sleep. I didn't look into the kitchen until the next day when I woke up. And I didn't even tell anybody about it until I was probably 16. But it was really, I think it was my papa, because, I mean, he had just died a few months before I had seen that spirit in the kitchen. Next experience, I was 11, I think. I had just recovered from I was still in the process of recovering from brain surgery. And I was lying in bed. I had a cold. And I still slept with the door open at this time. My parents' bedroom was right adjacent to mine. I had a cold. And I was laying in bed and I was coughing. Couldn't quit coughing. And I opened my eyes and I looked into the doorway. My parents' doorway. And it was pitch black out there for the most part, except for the light that was coming in my window from the moon. And I could see what I thought was my dad standing in his doorway. And I was like, Daddy, I'm okay. I'm just coughing. I'm fine. You can go back to bed. And he didn't move. And it wasn't my dad. I said, Daddy, I'm fine. You can go back to bed. I promise I'm okay. And he still didn't move. And that was when I started sleeping with my door closed, because it freaked me out, because it was not my dad. Like, I asked him the next morning. I said, were you standing in your doorway, like, staring at me last night while I was coughing? He said, no. I was asleep. And, like, from the previous experiences, my dad sleeps on a rock, so, I mean, what the hell? My fourth experience was, I was 15 or so, and we were living somewhere else. I don't even know. We moved around a lot. And my dad had his desktop computer set up in the living room. Well, I was allowed to use it whenever I wanted, however long I wanted. I was homeschooled, so I didn't have to go to bed early. I was on it one night, really late, on DeviantArt or something, and I heard something, and I looked to my right, and to my right was the kitchen, and then off to the further right of the kitchen was another hallway that led to the bathroom and my dad's room. The second bathroom in my dad's room, my parents' room. My mom worked third shift, so she wasn't there. I looked to the right when I heard something. I don't know what I heard. It just caught my attention and made me turn this way. But, you know, I looked, and peeking around the corner was just somebody standing there. I mean, the head was just peeked out around the corner, and I knew it wasn't my dad. And I was just like, okay, time for bed. I literally just was like, okay, I'm going to bed now. And I turned off the computer, and I went into my room, I shut the door, and I went to bed. I did not want any part of that at all. It creeped me the fuck out. And, I had a lot of experiences in that house. Actually, the next experience is in the same house. The next morning, actually. I forgot about this. I asked my dad about it, and I think I already said that. He didn't fucking look around the corner. Okay. Moral of the story. Getting confused. Okay, my next experience was in the same house. I had a dog named Jack, and he was my child, basically. He stayed in the house. He was a house dog. But normally he slept in my parents' room. This one particular night, he would not sleep in their room. And I didn't know why, but he slept in mine. It was fine. I was in my room. I was a teenager. I liked to sing a lot, so I was singing. My dad knocks on my door, and I'm like, yeah, come in. He's like, you alright? I said, yeah, I'm okay. What are you doing up? He said, I just can't sleep. I was like, okay. I said, Jack's in here with me if you get to looking for him. I said, he just came in here to sleep with me. He was like, okay, and he closed the door. And he was still mainly asleep. And a few minutes later, he comes back in. He said, wait a minute, Jack's with you? I said, yes. Why? He said, the reason I woke up was he was banging on my bed repeatedly. Like, he kept hitting the bed. And I said, damn it, Jack, stop. And he kept banging on the bed, so I got up to come check on you because I heard you singing. And I was like, that dog's been with me the entire night. I'm not even gonna lie, because when you went to bed, he wouldn't go back there. And it freaked him out. Like, it freaked him out bad. And then the next morning, he couldn't sleep that night after that. So when he actually fell asleep, he was late picking up my mother from work, because she worked third shift. So he told me this later. He was out on the back porch calling my mom, telling her, don't panic, I'm about to be there, I'm sorry, I overslept. Our phone didn't get service in the house, so we had to step onto the back porch. He was on the phone with my mom, and he said, wait, I think I hear her coming in to wake me up, because he could hear somebody walking through the house. And we lived in a trailer, and it was dinky and small, and you can hear somebody walking through the house. And he was like, that's probably her coming to wake me up. Let me go tell her I'm okay, and I'm going to get you. So he hung up the phone, walked in the house, walked in his room. There was nobody in there. Walked in the bathroom. Nobody in there. Walked in my room, and I was dead asleep. It wasn't me walking through the house. So that house had a lot of paranormal activity, I guess. Same house, I was laying in bed reading. I used to read a lot. On my belly, reading one of my favorite books. I had No music going, it was just quiet. I had a fan on, I believe. And I'm reading the book, and I hear, right here, a woman say, "Hello." What the fuck? I do what? I said, I stopped reading, and I was like, I'm trying to read? Please leave me alone. Like, I had gotten so used to paranormal activity in that house that I was just like, okay, please leave me alone. And I went back to reading. I mean, there was nothing I could do about it. And it's not like they were vicious or malevolent or anything. They were fine. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I have a daughter. This is going to be the last paranormal experience of this video. I have a daughter, and she's 3. She's about to turn 4 in December. She's always had this weird thing. Even when she first started babbling, she would look behind me and just and talk to somebody behind me, which freaked the fuck out. I'm not even gonna lie. When she was, I think it was this, it was either last year or earlier this year. She was in her room, and I have a baby monitor, and she was in her room and she was playing, and I kept hearing her talk to somebody. It was still unintelligible. She's still having trouble talking at this point. I don't know why. Help. But she was talking to somebody, and then she walks into my room and she said, "Mommy, bad man in my room." Excuse me, what? Bad man in my room. Okay. So I get up and I was like, well, show me where the bad man is. Thankfully I was in a house. The house was full of people at the time, so if there was somebody bad in there, I could scream really loudly and they'd come beat his ass. But she took me into her room. I said, well, where's he at? Bad man under there. Under her bed. I said, okay, we're just gonna turn the light off. No, I'm gonna play with the bad man. Oh, okay. Be careful. And I just let her play. I had the baby monitor on, so if I heard anything fucked up, I could run in there and do something. But that's not even the first or last experience she's made me have. She will look into the air, down the hallway, in random spots. There's somebody over there. There's a girl over there. It's all the time. And, I mean, children are sensitive to the paranormal, supposedly, and I believe it. I was. I still kind of am. But I think it's pretty safe to say that this will not be the last of my paranormal experience videos, because I'm probably going to have a lot more in my life, and I still have more to tell, to be completely honest. So this video is probably very long. If you like this video, comment, subscribe, like, share. That'd be great, because I only have 1 subscriber at the moment. But yeah, let me know what you'd like to see in videos. I hit the computer. But I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.